Welcome back to another episode of the Lehigh Valley Prospects Field Hockey Podcast presented by Smith Sports Media. I'm your host, LJ Smith, and on this Coach's Corner segment, I have the pleasure of being joined by Megan Gutierrez, the head coach at Dean College. Megan, thank you for spending some time with me on this episode.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
I'm very excited to catch up with you again. It's been years since we've reconnected since our time at Cedar Crest, but very excited to have you on as a guest and tell our viewers about your journey as a coach, but also as a student athlete.
And thank you for reaching out for this. This is awesome and just so great to reconnect with an old friend.
Absolutely. Now we get to talk about the program you're at the helm of. So, the Bulldogs, let's talk about them. You're in what season with them now?
Going into my 4th season. So first fully recruited roster, like they're my own athletes. And I have some really incredible alumni too that I worked with and still keep in touch. And I was like, I would have recruited you anyways. Like, I love you so much. But yeah, year 4.
Excellent. So I like starting this recruiting and coaching side of things with this question. How would your players describe your coaching style and you as a coach? Because that's very important to get to know you as the person and your coaching style, but also how the players would describe you.
A little different for game day and practices and in the on the field, off the field. In my office, I mean, I'm an open book. Like, I want them to come to me with anything. I want them to vent to me. I want them to ask questions. But I have a very holistic mindset with everything. No matter what scenario we're in, I see you as a person. Yes, you're a field hockey player. Yes, you are a student. Yes, you are an athlete. You are all these things. But even if we are on the field for a practice, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to freak out at you just because I know that can have some like trigger responses. And I was like, I completely understand. But I see you holistically as a person. I am going to be hard on you. I am going to call you out on your crap. But that's where I really try to take the time to get to know every single individual person on, can I be a little bit more aggressive with you? Do I have to be a little bit more softer? What's your source of confidence? How can I build that source of confidence? How do you build your own source of confidence? And I do a team development session where it kind of dives deeper into that, where your teammates know that, your teammates get to figure out what are those sources so they can build each other, because that's something I'm really trying to build is a player-led team, less of a coach-led team, where it's like, obviously, like, I want to be there, but like, I'm just here steering the ship. I want you guys to fully like put the flags down. You guys are fully running the whole thing, but just very holistic. I myself, I never really want to change that about me, is like, I don't want to
be your most authentic self.
Yeah. But I'm going to push you. I'm going to learn how to coach you. And that's where I know a lot of people, their freshman year with me are always like, well, I wish we tried that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, we're going to get there. We're going to totally do that. But I was like, that's where my phrase is, a closed mouth can't be fed. If you need something from me, I need to know it. So then I can coach you better.
I like that a lot. Let's talk about a little bit of last season. So success last year, what did that look like for you?
It was a lot more than we expected. Because year 3, kind of I created a 5-year plan when I first started this program. Year 3, I was hoping to obviously like be a contender for playoffs. My gauge was like 5 games we were going to win. I was like, I built like a little bit, a kind of hard schedule, but then I had some buffer games in there, like non-conference to help. But we exceeded my expectations like crazy. We went 8-12, secured playoffs. We crushed in playoffs, took the number 1 seed to the 4th quarter, 0-0. Unfortunately lost, but it was an incredible year. Like, broke every single offensive record, had the most amount of shutouts in a season. Yeah, most amount of goals scored, assists, most amount of goal scorers. It was incredible.
Seeing everything trend in the direction we're hoping for.
Yeah. And like, I knew these things would take time, but I just know my first 2 years, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But I knew it was going to take the right people and the right time. And I have the right people. Yeah.
And trusting your instinct of who you're bringing into your program as well.
Exactly.
And you don't do that alone, I'm assuming. So what does your staff look like?
EJ, Erin Johnson, she's my assistant. She's been with me since I started at Dean. She's one of my best friends. I adore her. But she's kind of our glue to the program, where she's like the fun aunt, if that makes sense, where the girls adore her. Like, when I first hired her, she didn't have a crazy amount of coaching experience, but I just knew she was the right person for us. just because of who she was. She's an emergency room nurse as well, so knows how to command a room, but she's into powerlifting, like just a very impactful woman. And I knew that that was going to take to my girls so much. Now she's an incredible coach. Like, it's been so cool to watch her progression. So this coming up year, it's my first time going to have like a bigger staff. So I just hired one of my alumni, Madison Gilbert. So I'm so excited about her. She was my only senior this past year. So kind of already took like a coaching role a little bit. So the transition is a lot smoother in that regard. But I mean, she understands my coaching style, the way I run this program, and she loves this program through and through. And those are the type of people you need on it. And then I'm looking to hire a goalkeeper coach. I actually just offered it the other day. So fingers crossed it happens. But it feels weird hiring a goalkeeper coach because I was a goalkeeper, but I need all the help I can get.
Absolutely. And that has to make your job that much easier, knowing you have the confidence in your staff, just like Amber did with you.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of it like that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it comes full circle. That's the main thing, is the trust that you put into your staff and the faith you have in them makes them feel like they can do that much more. And seeing that in yourself, as like just when we work together, it's crazy to see that still happens now in your professional career.
Oh, that's so cool.
So let's move now into recruiting. How do you and your staff recruit?
So it can go kind of two ways. So it's either a student athlete reaches out to me saying they're interested in the institution. So like through email of like, hi coach, I am so-and-so, kind of just giving some details and background about themselves. Some include film, or it could be like, hey, I'm going to this tournament, will you be there? So an initial outreach that an athlete comes to me, or I see them at a tournament and I initially reach out to them. So that's kind of the start of the recruiting process. My recruiting process has also changed throughout my program as well, because obviously like you're growing, you're getting better players. We're now like a competitive program, which is awesome. And I can be a little bit more selective about who I'm bringing on. And it's more of like the right people I'm bringing on, where like, yeah, I can have this crazy talented person, but if character, culture, things are not there, I'm going to choose someone that works harder. I'm going to choose someone that I know I can develop a skill. Because in my brain, my thought process with recruiting is, if I can get someone that just works their butt off and has a great attitude, I'll teach them anything. And that's shown through with a lot of my athletes. So, yeah.
What does your roster size look like currently? Is that an ideal size for you, or are you looking to grow that?
So my current roster size is 20. My ideal roster size is 24, I'd say. So I'm not there quite yet, but I also didn't want to like over recruit one class and just have like a super big one to refill, if that makes sense. So my 26 class, I'm hoping will fully round it out to be around 24. We have enough to play full field, which is helpful in scrimmaging because I scrimmage literally every single day. So yeah, I'm not quite at my full one, but I mean, I'd rather have the right people and not have a full roster completely yet.
Recruiting events. Are there big events that you attend yourself? Does your coaching staff also attend recruiting events? What does that look like?
Yeah, so big ones. I'm always at Winter Escape because it's connected to the NFHCA convention. And then my assistant coach, EJ, has been to like the Sunshine Showcase with the club team she coaches for. But it's a lot of New England ones. I do try to get to one Mid-Atlantic one. So whether it's like Shooting Star Delaware or one of the Surf and Sand ones or like Apex or something like that, I really base it off of per year of like, do I have a large amount of kids interested that are going to this tournament? If not within this class, maybe I'll save it for next year just because I got to work within my recruiting budget too. But the local New England ones are so helpful. Like my new assistant, Maddie, just went to the Granite State Games in New Hampshire. The ones in Epping I'm always at. Taunton. Yeah, College Connections puts on a lot of really good showcases. So, and they're so like accessible.
Have you and your staff hosted any camps or clinics?
So we hosted our like very first ever camp, like field hockey camp at Dean. It was a Nike field hockey camp through Worcester County United Field Hockey. It was awesome. We just had it last week, I want to say. We had 70 kids there. It was wild.
Wow.
But then I host at least 2 clinics a year. So I always do a spring clinic. So it's like prospective student athletes go to that. And then I'm hosting my first preseason prep clinic. So August 9th, I have my first clinic for that. And I'm doing like a youth session and a high school session. So hopefully I get good numbers for that. But more people are signing up post that camp. So helpful to get our name out a little bit more because Dean Field Hockey wasn't a crazy big name in my field hockey region until the past year, I want to say. So
Okay,
we're building.
excellent. Now, position groups that you're looking to get filled or reinforce with upcoming classes next year and the following year.
So my midfield and back line, I'm losing some big heads. So within my senior class, I have 3, and one has been my left back starter since her freshman year, and the other has been my right mid starter since her freshman year. So 2 like really big, and they're both captains too, so really big spots to fill. And then my junior class, like same thing. My center back, my floater mid that goes everywhere and anywhere. So mid and defense, because my attack line is young but so talented. So I got some years on them, thankfully, and they're coming together very well. Yeah, definitely heavily focusing on those. So like my 26 class, probably looking to be like 6 or 7, and then 27 class, probably like 5 or 6.
Expectations in your program, starting with athletic expectations.
So athletic expectations, we have 2 fitness tests when they come in for the fall. We do the 17s, so what I did in college. This is my first season doing the 17s because I was like, we need something a little bit more, I think, a little bit more challenging, but it's a big mental challenge for the most part. And then we do the pacer test. So throughout all of spring ball, we practice the pacer test once a week. So kind of gets them really prepared, and kind of they get to individually challenge themselves. So within those 2 fitness tests, I have it where you have to pass one, but you still have to run both of them. And then I have a goalkeeper specific fitness test. So theirs is like full gear on, and it's like an agility fitness, just because their mechanics are a lot different. Their stamina is a lot different in that regard. But I have them, they have to do their goalkeeper specific one, and then they have to pass at least one of the fitness ones. And then academic one, what the next part was,
Leading into academic expectation.
I have them within my program. So there's like an institution one versus a program one. So institutionally, I think they have to have above a 2.0. Program wise, I require them to have a 3.0 or higher. If you have it lower, you have to go into study hall. And that's where once a week or more, you have to be in our study labs. There's an academic coach there that checks you in, and just like an extra support service, or they do study hall hours in my office. And that's where my experience with Nevada with that internship comes in pretty clutch. Yeah, so definitely hit some high expectations, but I mean, I rarely have kids out of it. And if they are, it's only for a semester or 2. So my kids are very on top of their stuff.
Yeah, the true form of a student athlete, for sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And they're so helpful with each other too. Like they're always doing study groups or homework together, or just they'll come into my office and ask me questions where it's like, if it's science, please don't ask me. Like I'll try my best and everything, but I mean, they're just super supportive in that regard.
Now, values of your program that you're looking to instill into your student athletes.
So we kind of go off of 4 pillars within that. So it's develop, guide, respect, and challenge. So, and I tried to I created these from the start where it's like, we want to develop this program, but we also want to develop each other. And that's where, just from the get, these girls were so welcoming and wanting to learn whatever anyone had to offer. So they want to develop each other. And it was so cool to like have someone come in with one skill and they're like, I want to learn that. Can you teach me? Yeah. And developing them into better people too, at the end of the day. And then guide, I think of that in the aspect of like, I'm guiding you guys through life. You guys are guiding each other through life, where like, these are your friends. These are your sisters, and you have their back through and through, but things through life also happen while you're in college. And we want to guide each other through these challenging times, through the great times, through like celebrating every single little thing. So that's something I'm big on too, is like, as you're building a program, you have to celebrate the small things. Like, even if it's, we didn't get scored on this game, like,
yeah,
you have to appreciate those little things. And then being where we are now, we don't lose that, because it makes you appreciate everything we've been through as well. And then respect. I'm a nutcase about respect. Like, you're not respecting yourself, you're not respecting your teammates, your coaches, your professors, your parents, anything in that regard. I think it's just a great life skill to have. I think the respecting yourself thing I talk about a lot more within the last 2 years, just because with a lot of like mental health things growing, there's so many challenges within it. And it's so easy to quickly jump on yourself to be like, oh, well, I should have done this. Why didn't I do that? And it's like, you have to respect the way you're talking to yourself. And then challenge. Oh my gosh. Like, the background behind challenge within my values started with like, it's going to be a challenge to build this program. It is going to be tough. But now it's kind of growing into how do we challenge each other? How do we challenge our opponents? How are we challenging ourselves on and off the field? Because I always try to bring that up too of like, I'm challenging myself every single year by making sure I'm changing things every year, making sure I'm learning something, because in my brain, I'm like, the second I'm not learning something new every single season is my time to bow out. So, yeah.
Well, and I think being able to evolve through your pillars is part of that as well. If you're not willing to evolve, like this is it and this is the only thing we're doing, like you're doing yourself and your program a disservice. So the fact that you're able to evolve and your players and your student athletes are able to see that as well, that's a huge feat.
Yeah, it's been awesome too to like just see it all grow throughout as well. And kind of the cool thing, so I created like a little hashtag when I first started the program too. It's making HERstory, so it's like the HER is capitalized, but I'm super big on too, like I'm also the Title IX coordinator for athletics at Dean. So I'm super big obviously on just like advocating for equality with women, especially within like a male dominated field and all those things.
And I will say you even did that at Cedar Crest, being an all women's college. That was something that you really did initiate within that as well.
Yeah. And it's just something that like I've always been so passionate about too. So with that, it's like you're making history every single time you step on this field, because it's a newer program and we're breaking records left and right. Like things we're doing have never been done before. So it's like you're making history in that regard, but you are also throughout your time, like you are making your own story. You are making your own impact. You are developing yourself and your teammates. Like, how do you want your impact to be left? What do you want your story to be when you leave? So like when you're graduating, I always do a hashtag like made HERstory. So you've made your impact, you've made your story. It's cool to like reflect on that. And I did little like podcast series stuff, not really podcast, but like little like video things with all my seniors that graduate as well. So it was cool to like reflect on their 4 years with that too. But parents have really bought into that hashtag too of like, it's something that is a driving force what we're doing every single day.
Yeah, that's excellent. One of the last things we'll talk about here, just to kind of talk about your program and you, what separates your program from other programs? What's something that you sell to your incoming student athletes and your current student athletes that being a Dean Bulldog is where you should be?
I mean, my kids sell themselves. They, from the start, have been the most welcoming group I've ever experienced. Like, I was a first-time head coach, so going there, I was like, are these kids even going to listen to me? I don't even know. But then from the get, they were just like, they want to learn everything. And that's something this program's never lost, is they want the best for this program, for themselves, for their teammates. But it's my girls. Like, they sell it. So they make it so easy to sell it. They're incredible people. They work their butts off. They're so hungry. Dean itself is an incredible community. And like, it's been cool to grow throughout the athletics program as well, just because like it is a newer Division III program too within all of athletics. So it's super unique in that way to be part of new things across the board with all sports. It's a beautiful campus. Oh my God, that campus is stunning. And it just like a really great area. But I mean, my program itself, like my kids sell it, and the community that we've created. And I have a really great like family, like parent group as well. They're so bought in. I adore talking to the parents. The family component is really big for me too, but my kids. Yeah.
That's excellent. What academic programs do your student athletes tend to gravitate towards at Dean?
They're a little all over the place. So I have a few like exercise science majors. They go into like pre-athletic training, pre-PT, pre-med, like those tracks. I have sport management, sport broadcasting, psychology, early childhood education, criminal justice is a big one too. We have a really good partnership with the craft group through the Patriots. So a lot of our like sport management broadcasting program, that's like really good one. I do have one dancer on my team, so that's really unique. Her schedule's nuts, so I don't know how her body still runs for practices. But yeah, we have a very diverse team in that way. And that's something too that I've always wanted to create, is I don't want just my entire team from the same state, from the same region, and all like just the same person.
You mentioned that. How many different states are represented in your program?
Yeah, I have 13 this year, so very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. As we get ready to wrap up the episode, is there anything else you'd like to to let the viewers know, any prospective student athletes know about yourself, the program, and what you bring to the table as a coach?
I love the sport through and through, and I think that really shines through every single thing I do with my athletes, with my career, and I don't feel like I ever work a day in my life when it comes to this job. I love my job through and through, and I think that's something that not a lot of people can say, and I'm very grateful for that. But I mean, I've got a really great community of people at Dean, and then just kind of around the world like you, and I've got a really supportive husband through it, and he also works in college athletics, so he's like low-key part of my coaching staff because he watches a lot of film with me. And yeah, if you love your job, you never work a day in your life. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, Megan Gutierrez, the head coach at Dean College, thank you so much for spending some time with me on this episode. It's been great catching up with you, seeing you again from afar. I said it's been probably 4 or 5 years since we've seen each other last, so it's been great to reconnect and hear your story again, but even dive a little bit deeper into that. So proud of the success you've had over the last couple of years, and it's been a pleasure to get to talk to you again.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for this. Like, this is incredible work you're doing and getting the sport out more, and you're advocating for us in a way, and it's very much appreciated, and I wish you the best of luck with all of this. And it was so good to catch up with you too. Oh my gosh. So
Absolutely. Good. This has been fantastic. All right. Thank you so much for your time, Megan.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Lehigh Valley Prospects podcast presented by Smith Sports Media. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel searching Lehigh Valley Prospects Podcast. You can stream the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts searching Lehigh Valley Prospects Podcast. Follow us on social media on Instagram at LV Prospects Podcast, on X at LV Prospects, and on Facebook at Lehigh Valley Prospects Podcast. Until next time, I'm your host, LJ Smith, signing off.